Yeah, strong woman. Grab, grab. Yeah, strong woman. Yeah, strong. Take.
Gang, gang! She's getting her bread, y'all. Yes, Wonder Bread.
Play your video game.
Pose for me? Thank you.
What is up, everybody out there? I am back from a much needed break, and to generate some ideas and some thoughts, had to go out and go to a concert to get the juices flowing again. But thank you so much for returning to the podcast. If you have not subscribed and reviewed the show on all podcast platforms, please go do so right now to whatever you use the best. I went and saw, okay, so you know what? I just wanted to get into this right now before I get into like the main topics of what I really wanted to discuss on today's show. I have not watched any of the fights. I watched the Holly Holmes fight because I knew it was super short. I had to find out why it was so damn short, and let's give that woman her due when she kicked the shit out of Ronda Rousey, and that was about it. We're good. Holly Holmes, it's fine. You can beat up Steve-O. You can train with John Jones, if you even do train with John Jones anymore, but you're done. I think you're done. You're done. But that's coming from somebody who's a fat piece of shit, watching you fight and put your life on the line while I stuff my fat ass face with delicious foods and critique your work. So, but my fiance had showed me a video. If you don't think that we are on a very, very slippery slope to fucking to the lowest point of, I guess, fandom, or how low we can set the bar for these new viral celebrities, then you need to go on the internet and kind of browse around. You need to look up the TikTok NPC trend. And I had to look it up because I had no idea what it stood for. And if you don't know what NPC stands for, it's non-playable character on a video game. And what these fucking people are doing are mimicking characters that you can't play on video games, like your background shit. And they are mimicking them while people are sending them gifts and making weird ass sounds. It's hard to describe it. It really, when my fiance showed me this, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I must have watched this one video 5 times, and I didn't, like five or 6 times, and I did not understand one fucking thing that was going on. And I didn't, by the time it was over, I didn't even want to know. And I go, oh, you're watching this? She goes, look at all these people that are watching it. And that's one thing that she does. She's really heavily into TikTok and Facebook. I'm strictly Instagram. I love Instagram. It's just super simple. I don't mess with the I just don't want to write anything down and explain my thoughts in a paragraph for you guys, so you guys can be like, fuck you. You guys can do that on this comment on the podcast. That's what I do it for. So I can hear the good and bad comments and critiques. Saying, oh, you fucking suck. Get Gibbs back. Let's get the bearded bros back. Or let's get some more people on the podcast instead of hearing your dumb shit. I get it. I want to hear all that. It makes people better. Failing and constructive criticism, depending on how you take it, it's only gonna make you better. And these fucking crazy ass people totally did not give a flying fuck what anybody thought about what they were about to do in life, and now they're blowing up. I have to show you this. This is weird. Listen to this. This girl is called Pinky Doll, and she's playing a non-playable character. She's going live on TikTok, and people are sending her like money for her to do all these weird ass sounds, and she'll be streaming for like 5+ hours doing this. If you haven't heard it here, you got to hear this shit.
Scientists have long been investigating
Wait. That was not it. Wait a minute. Where the fuck did I just have it? Did I take it off? Oh, here we go. It's further down.
What's going on?
Ice cream so good. Fire. Take your lily sleigh, huh? Meow. That was so good. Coconut, pop.
Like, what is she even saying? Does she even...
Coconut so good. Balloon. Grab.
This is the one I saw. When she started doing this pop shit, I'm like, what the fuck is she popping? And my lady's like, I have no idea what she's doing. I'm like, why are you showing me this? It's bad enough that I go down a slippery rabbit hole of bullshit on my phone for hours upon end of stuff that I really need to start eliminating out of my life and start bringing more good things into my life. I don't need any of this shit to fuck my brain up, but gives me something to talk about so you guys can go out there and realize what your kids are now being fed on a daily basis. If it catches the eye of my fiance, what do you think it's going to do to a young teenager, a young child, a young adolescent that the brain is just not forming up? It's obviously not experience of what we've gone through in life, and they're seeing this shit and they go, I want to do this. But then you start hearing about, well, we used to tell our kids, my parents used to tell me, you'll never fucking do anything in life if you just sit down and play video games all day. If I would have kept doing that and actually pursued into computers and this and that, I probably would have been a really good gamer. And look what they have now, esports, everything. I am stuck on FIFA esports right now. Oh my God, is it so fucking exciting. It is so exciting. I can't tell you how exciting it is. So I might just be judging a book by its cover. I don't know how much this woman's making, but apparently it's enough to go viral where people are like, what's going on? Okay, so let's go. Let's listen to this shit again, and I won't say anything.
Grab.
Scientists have long been...
God damn it, not that.
Coconut so good. Ice cream so good.
She's fucking... Wait a minute. God damn it. All right, here we go. Well, I have her on my... Here we go.
Take your Anna, take your Maya. Take your Anna, take your Jolan, take your Anusti, take your Rika, take your Jolan, take your A,
What the
take
fuck?
your Emma, take your Maribel. Ice cream
If
so
you
good.
see this...
Gang. Balloon. Yeah, strong woman.
And look, and there's more of these.
Gang.
This chick has bunny ears on, and she's like waving her arms like a bunny.
Bread, y'all. Yes, Wonder Bread. Ow, don't shock me. The disrespect. Thank you for the world.
We're in trouble, y'all.
Of the planet's ocean is water.
This is the reason why no one takes us fucking seriously in life.
Play your video game.
If you don't think any other country doesn't take us fucking seriously, this is what we're representing.
Meat in a bun.
You're-
Spicy but delicious.
You know what's happening right now? We are making it easy for people to stay at home and not do a fucking thing outside. We are making it so easy for people to stay home, make this ridiculous amount of money that they're going to fuck it all away. Most of them will do that. You have a small percentage of people that will invest and do the right thing with their success. I'll be honest with you. Out of the whole Vine characters, all the big streamers and shit like that, I never would have thought that Logan and Jake Paul would have fucking made it more. Never. And you can say that some of them, oh my God, what was that weird chick? Her name was like Brittany something. She did like all the really weird videos. She was fucking hilarious too. You would say that she didn't do much after TikTok, but she's married to Tommy Lee of Motley Crue. That's success. I call that success. Bam. Investment or King Batch. He's on what was it? Wildin' Out. Okay. His vines were way better, and I haven't even seen his Instagram right now. It's nothing like the Vine days. Vine was the best. And now did you guys realize, did you guys even know what Vine was? Or Vine was 6 seconds of the greatest fucking comedic performances you can do in 6 seconds. I believe I talked about this a long time ago. This one dude talked about a chicken sandwich him and his buddy went and got at 2 a.m. And the journey that he went on, it was incredible. I had my notifications set up perfectly for him. Every time he had something posted, I went right for it, because what he did, he ended up doing, okay, this is 6-second vines. He did a 3-minute video all in Vine form. So you would get you would post a video, and then like 3 minutes later, he would post the next 6 seconds. And it's like, oh, fuck, let's go. So that was pure entertainment at its finest. This shit, we are endorsing a sick mind. This is fucking weird, man. Listen.
Rose for me? Thank you. A rose for me? Thank you. Hi, banana.
And they're like pretending like they're floating. They're like just doing some weird sway shit.
Rose for me? Thank you.
Roses?
This bitch is the weirdest. She's playing like Dora.
Dang, on abuela. Wow, is that lightning? I couldn't tell. Today we're looking for tiny tinies. Wow.
Fuck this, dude. I just remember when my daughter first went on TikTok. Actually, she was on Musical.ly. That's what it was before it went to before it got bought out and turned into TikTok. It was Musical.ly. And she was doing all the dances and all the crazy shit. And man, if she would have kept with that, it's hard to say, like, fuck, I'm like promoting fucking TikTok success, whatever. But she was so good at it at such a young age. But if she can't, I mean, at one point she tried to do a podcast with me, started off with ASMR for the first 5 minutes, and I go, no. This is not appealing. You may think that my audience will like to hear you pretend like you're eating shit, but you're wrong, because we're adults. Most of us are. And we understand that there's something really serious going on with this country and this world. Which brings me to what my main subject was today. I went to Palm Springs this weekend. I went back to the old stomping grounds, the place that I left because it was so hot and couldn't deal with it anymore. I went back to go see a band that I've been listening to since the late 90s. I went and saw Paramore. And I went and saw them. Oh, that's what I needed to do. Hey, what the fuck's going on here? Okay. I didn't want to butcher the name because I knew I was going to forget it. So we went and saw Paramore at the Acrisure Arena in Palm Desert. It's the home of their hockey team. Let me see. Why am I doing like the Terminator thing? AHL team. Alright, whatever. They have a hockey team there. Oh, they're called the Firebirds. They're called the Firebirds. Phoenix is the Firebirds hosted 4 games at the Yeah. So, anyways, it's a hockey arena. It's Coachella Valley Firebirds. It's right in front of my fucking face. Very funny. So, I've never been into a hockey game at all. So, I don't really know if most hockey arenas are set up where you feel like you are super close, even though you're supposedly far away. I can imagine how amazing a hockey game was because they were, if you were just in dead center, if you were on the 50-yard line of this hockey arena, you're dead center. Paramore played on the left-hand side, all the way to the left. They had their stage set up. So extended out of the hockey rink had your what is it? Your general admission, stand up, passes and shit like that. People just flooding the floor. The floor. There we go. So we had seats, I'd say a little bit, say the 40-yard line of the opposing team. So we had good seats. Like, this was crazy because the elevations felt like you were so close. And nosebleeds didn't even seem like you had bad seats at all. Like, this arena was fucking incredible. The food was amazing. You paid what you pay at an event like this, but the food was delicious. These nachos we had was fucking awesome. Granted, I don't drink, so I had an 805 and I couldn't even finish it. I had some short shorts on. I had my T-Swift rocking, and I was right under a fucking AC unit. And you're probably like, well, you're out in Palm Springs. It should be hot out there. You should enjoy the free AC. I did for a little bit. Walking into that arena from 110 plus degrees felt like a godsend. But I don't have any hair on my legs. Not because I don't shave them. It's because when I was doing a lot of intense running with sweats on, all the sweating was actually... And the cold, like I would sweat and pretty much freeze my hair, and they would stick to my sweats, and it would, like, my hair would break off. So if you look at my shins and stuff, they're almost like completely bald, and I don't shave them. I must have shaved my legs going through an experimental state, probably like for a year. Not even that. I'd probably say 6 months I tried that. Then I was getting clowned on. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But it grew back. But then when I started getting into running, that's when it all happened. So I had my semi above knee shorts on, my T-Swift rocking. I felt good walking in. I was freezing cold. And I had taken these edibles. I had taken these edibles prior. And normally edibles don't hit me well at all. It's kind of like, hey, I'm going to take these, and if it works out, fucking fantastic, Most likely if it does work out, it's not going to be too bad. No. These 3 edibles I just had, which was 30 milligrams, hit me like a fucking dump truck. I was sitting there. There was one point where I was looking at the show at Paramore, and they had these crazy designs going up on their screens, and my eyes were freaking out. It almost looked like it almost felt like you woke up from a really, really long nap, really fucked up nap, and your eyes were just trying to focus and shit. That's how it was. But imagine all these lights around you as well. And it was crazy. I was freezing. I couldn't go buy any merch because the merch was wrapped all the way around the arena. Like, we had my lady and her friend who ended up going with us, Miss Tam Tam, good friend of ours from Palm Springs, love her to death. We made a tradition that every single year now, which is, I think, a lot of people fail to do. I think I want to start doing this. Maybe people do it, and I'm the one who's just catching up to the board. Doing like these little minor traditions. And last year, my lady and we went with Tamara to San Diego to see Motley Crue and Def Leppard. Okay. Now we're on this year. This is probably the only show we're going to be able to see with her, honestly. And we went and saw Paramore. Next year is probably someone else that's going to be on our bucket list. We're all the same age and shit. So it was fun. But I was freezing cold. I was fucking high as shit. Couldn't buy merch because the line was absolutely ridiculous. But was Paramore great? They were awesome. Now, they had 2 openers. One was called the Linda Lindas. One of the youngest drummers I've ever seen play live at a big gig. 12-year-old drummer, all-female group, kind of like a punk rockish type group. They were really good. I really enjoyed their music. They all took turns singing. Each one, there was 2 guitar players, a bass player, and a drummer. It was cool. I think the oldest was like 18 years old. It was awesome. It was a really cool show. I enjoyed them. Now, the band that Paramore was saying during their set that they were so excited to have on tour were a band called Fouls, Fouls. I am a shitty musician. I just want to say that right now. I am a garbage musician. I played in a band, which I am very thankful that I learned a lot from. But in all honesty, I was playing what JD, one of my best friends in the world, wrote. It was his music. I was playing with him. And I had some say-so in things, but it wasn't anything up to JD's level because JD is that fucking good. So I'm not the greatest songwriter. I don't have any hits. No one knows any of my music besides my immediate family that lives in this house. But when I say I was super confused beyond belief is an understatement to what I was listening to from that group. I had no idea what they were doing. It looked like these guys were just having a good old fuck time party up there. The drummer kept a consistent up-tempo beat through every single song. So when they stopped playing and they talked and they went to the next song, it almost felt like it was just a continuation. The bass player was amazing. He was fucking great. I thought he was just amazing. Whenever they focused on the bass player on the screens, I really looked. It was cool. He was fucking awesome. What he was playing was great. But I felt like the pianist, the keyboardist, the 2 guitar players, one guitar player was the lead vocalist. You had the bass player and the drummer. Out of all those people, the bass player just, I think what it was is I had to watch the bass player and really and dial in what he was doing to understand what the fuck was going on. And that sucks. And maybe I'm just old and I don't get it. I don't know, but I think I have a pretty broad perspective when it comes down to my music taste. I listen to everything. I'm starting to listen to fucking this one song. What is this song called? I can't play it, but I just heard it recently, and you're probably like, "Wow, this has been out for a long time." It is The Bones by Maureen Morris. You're like, "Wow, yeah, that definitely came out a few years ago. 4 years ago to be exact." And I'm just now hearing it and appreciate it. But no, that's how it works. No, that's how it works. If anybody, wait, running up that hill, I'm sure your parents were like, "Oh my God," while you were listening to, or while you were watching that. If your grandparents or like your kids, your parents, your kids' grandparents, were old enough to have a good to experience your kids, yeah, you would be able to hear that song, and they're probably like, "Oh shit, that's crazy! I remember that. I remember listening to that when we went out, and we used to do lots of coke to it." And that's why it was called Running Up That Hill. Because you just wanted to keep going. You couldn't go back down. You didn't want to go back down. You just had to keep running up that hill. Make a deal with God. Make a deal with God. So, I didn't know. And on top of it, out of all those band members, it looked like they did... Out of all 5 of those members, I think it was maybe 5, maybe 6. I don't know. I could be wrong. It looked like they did 4 amazingly hardcore drugs throughout all of them. They shared 4 hardcore drugs. Because it just seemed like they were all in their own fucking world up there. Thank God Paramore had a great show. But this is like the downfall of seeing a band that you really want to see. Is that you have an expectation of songs that you want them to play. And granted, they played their hits that you would expect them to play. But there's just some... I remember watching Paramore play Grow Up years ago. And Haley just, when she plays a certain part... Oh, when she plays like the bridge, dude, she's so incredibly like passionate and sexy doing it. I just wanted to see it live, and it didn't happen. I was fucking angry and cold. And then there was, I wanted to hear Forgiveness and Pull. There's a lot of songs I wanted to hear, dude. And they played for 2 hours. Just not enough. And Taylor Swift played for 3. You know what? There's just something about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is everything. Taylor Swift is everything. I told my daughter, and she ended up telling her mom this. She goes like, "Well, how did your dad like the show?" And he said it was life-changing. And I will stand by that till the day I die. We were going to go tailgating next month. Hoping to get tickets. But if not, we will tailgate. I'm fine with that. I'm so happy about that. To experience that in SoFi. Fucking rock and roll, baby. Let's do it. Her production and what she was able to do, but obviously her catalog is huge as well. So I'm sure if you were able to get a ticket to see Taylor Swift, I'm sure out of that 3-hour set, you're like, wow, I wish I would have heard this. Hence, the secret song that she was doing. She would do 2 secret songs every show. She played 3 nights a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And each show she would have 2 secret songs. So people would go viral saying, what is she going to play? What puzzle are we going to make what Rubik's Cube of Taylor Swift puzzle we have going on here to make it come out to the conclusion we want? How many times do I have to rotate this fucking cube to hear the song I want? I remember my lady still to this day goes on live when she performs, if they have it streaming, of the secret song, and she was like, this is her thing. This is her thing. She goes, I'm like, why? Don't. You were one of the lucky ones that were able to get tickets because of your fiance that bought so many fucking crazy tickets last year that Ticketmaster hooked it up. You were the lucky one. We were the lucky ones to go. We got to see her opening night. Fuck out of here, dude. Your secret song. It's such good marketing. She's the best. She's the fucking best. She's boosting the economy everywhere she goes. Look into that. Look into how much, I don't, you know what? If it turns out that she was a fucking piece of shit woman in the background, it doesn't matter because what she's doing to the economy, every single city she goes to. Put it, mark it. She's bad. She's a badass lady. I love Taylor Swift. Okay. So Paramore was great. The arena was awesome. Great sound. It was cool. The fouls were shit. The Lindas were great. You know, it was just a good night to be out with family. You know, I got to see my mother-in-law, got to spend a couple hours with my sister-in-law, who always makes me laugh so fucking hard. I mean, you know those people that are just naturally funny? Like, I don't even think she tries. What she says, whatever comes out of her mouth it's not even a coin flip. It's like the odds are heavily in her favor. She's like the house in the betting pool. Everything she's going to say is funny as fuck. And I swear it's unintentional. So I was very happy for that. Obviously, spending the weekend with my fiance is great. But I have to tell you, COVID really fucked up a place that I really enjoyed staying at. Besides the heat, I loved Palm Springs. I loved how easy Desert Hot Springs was, where I actually worked and reside. And I went and hung out in Palm Springs. I loved it. I loved the people. I loved everything about it before I left. But at the VID, the VID really fucking put Palm Springs and that whole entire Coachella Valley in shambles. And I remember when we were going through it, I was in Palm Springs still working at my old job, my old dispensary, the one I helped opened. I wouldn't say help open, just I was the first one to get hired. Help build it up. About that. Help build it up. Don't want to take credit so someone finds out about this. Like, you didn't help build shit. You're in town. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you and your mentor, Doink, who just had a really shitty fucking documentary on the dark side of the ring. And then Jim Cornette fucking just annihilate him and say how much he's a piece of shit. So fuck you. Anyways, so I really loved working out there. I loved the place I stayed at. It was just chill. It was just chill. It really was. I really enjoyed every bit of it besides the heat, and it's the only reason why we left. And there was other reasons as well, but the heat really was the main issue. So, after being gone for almost 3 years, it's going to be 3 years in November. I'd say that, yeah, close to that. I was hoping that, because the same people that I associated with over in Palm Springs, I still keep in touch with now, like through social media and stuff. And I had posted that I was coming out there this weekend. I was kind of hoping, kind of selfishly, that someone would want to reach out and hang out for a little bit, get a drink, and just kind of reminisce. I don't ever expect anybody to do anything for me. I buy my own drinks, and I would buy yours as well. I just want to have a conversation. And I was really sad that didn't really happen. And I had went to a certain store that I get special stuff at, and they didn't have nothing of it. Said it was seasonal. But I remember buying it all year round with my daughter in the heat, in the cold. Then I'm going out to the mall out there, the Westfield Mall, which I would take my daughter when she was young, and she was telling me, well, when you go to Palm Springs, man, I really want to go back to that mall, so let me know how you like it if you see it before me. which I did, we ended up going out there and you just see places boarded up, places for lease. Some of the coolest spots that you enjoyed hanging out with are now gone. It was sad. It was a real eyesore. I couldn't enjoy it. And the heat, it was 115 degrees. I was like, fuck this. Fuck, how did we ever fucking do this? And on top of it, there was one point when staying out there, it was 120 plus degrees for a week straight. And we had busted ACs and swamp coolers, just couldn't keep up. And Tamara's like, hey, calm the fuck down, dude. Like, I live out here still. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm a piece of shit. So, besides seeing my sister and my mother-in-law and Tamara, I got to hang out. I got to talk to Tamara's mom, too. I love Miss Linda. Oh, she's a trip. She is so funny. She's like that hardcore Republican grandmother that's just like, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, she sounds like she smokes a pack of cigarettes a day, but she doesn't. It's probably like because of old habits of cigarettes, but she doesn't smoke now. But she's amazing. Like, whatever she says, it's like, I don't give a fuck, no filter. I love just talking to her. And just like, okay, cool. Because I can hear, I can listen to anything anybody needs to say or wants to say if you're going to be rational and be cordial about it. As soon as you start mouthing off and start raising your voice, like, there's really no reason for anybody to raise their voice in a conversation. If you are trying to gain, if there's an end game to it, if for both parties to come out benefiting from. And it's normally when someone's trying to gain control of the situation, they will raise their voice to you and see how you will do. And honestly, I am at the stage in life right now where I just don't simply care if you are going to raise your voice. I will tune you out and go from there, because I've now realized that I'm going to waste my time trying to have a conversation with you. I am not there to convince you about what I believe. I just want to have a conversation with you. And if we can't do that, where we can both tell each other how we feel about a certain situation that we are disagreeing about cordially, then why are we doing it? So, but yeah, if I felt bad, it just didn't feel right. It didn't have the same vibe. And maybe I needed to go at night. I'm taking all these one little key moments and planting a forever memory seed in my brain of this is how it's always going to be. Like, I had the fantasy that the summer Montana vacation I had is what I'm going to experience every single day I wake up in Montana when I move out there. And it's not. It's going to be like that for 3 or 4 months, if that. And the rest is going to be winter, fucking terrible winter. But I'm ready for that change. Of course, I'm going to miss the ocean, but I'm going to have a lake. I'll be able to go like on my boat, like, let's go. Go fishing, barbecuing, shooting guns, go hunting. I really want to go hunt. I want to go hunt and supply the food for my family. That's a goal. I always wanted to skydive, but I get up in certain elevations up here in the Central Coast, man, and I start getting dizzy and shit. So I'm like, yeah, I think we're going to weed out roller coasters and skydiving probably permanently. So, but hunting is one of those things that this may like sound super terrible, but I want to get humbled. I was going to say something else. That's why I was saying that. I initially warned you, but I didn't, because if someone takes out audio, it's going to make me sound like a fucking pervert or something worse. Or just mesh it in with something and they're like, oh my God, did you hear what this fucking dummy said? It can happen. But I want to be able to go out with the expectations of like, hey, you can bring home food for your family or you cannot. Are you willing to accept either or? And it could take you days to do this. I think that's so exciting to me. It's so exciting. It's not like just hearing it from your favorite people out there that are doing it and they talk about it on their shows and their podcasts and their whatever the case may be. I'm ready to have it all around me. I'm ready to be close to nature more than I am now, because there's so much out in Montana, so much nature. I want to go out there and respect the beasts that can just take me out in a second. I want to learn about them. I want to respect them. I want to be able to go hunting in their environment and knowing that, and I want to be able to have the confidence to go do that and knowing that they are looking at me as a nuisance. I am now taking food out of their mouths. So am I going to be dealing with an angry predator? It's just, that intrigues the shit out of me. Besides being able to cook, my life goal is to cook for a living. Not to be called a chef. I just want to make people happy. I want to be able to cook for people and be able to talk to individuals and just see how their day's going. Like, hey, how you doing? Have their food. Like, oh, right on, Just enjoy it. I love talking and socializing with people more than anything. I just don't have time. People don't have time to have conversations with me, long conversations and podcasting, because they're just so busy with work and family that, the conversation has died down tremendously. It seems like if you're not in business or in radio or podcasting, I don't think anybody really knows how to have a conversation anymore. It's the one true skill that everybody should have to master, or at least grasp the concept of it before it's too late. I have conversations with my daughter where she just sits there and looks at me. And I'm like, dude, you can't always try to have the last word. I said, most of your fights and arguments you have with people is because you're trying to get the last word. And if you're dealing with somebody else that's doing the same thing, it's like, then what are you achieving? She looks at me, she rolls her eyes and puts her head down, looks at her fucking hands like she's, crumbling up some imaginary piece of paper. It's like, dude, I get it. Been through it. When I tell you, when you sound like an old man, and I wish I had grandparents around, or wish I had people older that, you know what? I didn't learn anything from my grandparents besides love from my dad's mother. Just genuine love. That's the only grandparent I knew that had genuine love for everyone. All the other ones, my grandfather died when I was younger, so I really didn't know him. My dad's father died before I was born, so I never knew him. So I just wish there was somebody out there. Actually, my first supervisor, he was an older gentleman called Dave King. His name was Dave King, and I used to work in in a warehouse in Santa Clarita. My first job with my mom. She worked up in clerical, and I worked in the warehouse. And Dave King was my manager, supervisor, and he gave me a lot of great advice for an 18-year-old. And he must have been like in his 50s. I remember when he was getting his prostate exam, and he's like, "Yeah, they touched the walnut." Fucking, I'll never forget that shit. He's like, "It's touched the walnut. It gets you a little excited." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, dead serious." It blew my mind away. It wasn't just the only thing he taught me. He gave me a lot of, like, you know, child advice. I had a young child at the time when I was, I think, 19. So a year into my job, I became a father. Gave me a lot of great advice. Just a lot of great life advice. So for someone, and then there, I can say there's more people. Now it's like come into play. Like even my girlfriend from high school. There was a girlfriend from high school who was actually my sister's friend. My sister's friend had really big boobs that was older than her, and I dated her, and she lived with her grandparents because her mom was a fucking crazy maniac. But her grandparents gave me a lot of great advice too. And I just want to go back and tell them, like, you know what? Getting back to my point is that when I tell my daughter I had this experience, it's because, you know what? It's like, shit, you know, fuck, I should have. What I'm saying about with those people is like, I wish I would have told them, like, thank you. I know this is it's gonna mean something someday to me. It's gonna hit me at the right time, and I'm gonna understand. And I'm trying to instill that in my daughter right now at 15, because she has with my family, her mom's family, it's a dynamite combo. And with my family, especially, they try to get the last word in and then dip on you. I tell my daughter, if you cannot find any benefit with someone being in your life, then just X them out. And that could be family or anything. If someone's treating you like shit or talk shit about you, then what benefit are they bringing to your life? Sometimes you might have to let something go, and then maybe it might come back and it might be stronger. But you shouldn't sit there and deal with bullshit like that or get ridiculed, or you shouldn't be treated like shit by anyone. Family or not. Family, friends, it doesn't fucking matter. So I see the wheels turning in her head, and I know someday it's going to link up with something, or the spark's going to snap in her brain. She'll be like, oh, I get it. And I tell my daughter all the time, I go, I hope, one day, I just hope, I tell her this. I go, my goal is to one day when you are talking to your friends and your friends ask you about me, that there's nothing but good things said about me. That that I did good for you, and I was a good influence in your life. That's all I can do. I tell her, I'm like, I just want to be able to provide for you, give you everything that I never had and more. I never even thought about going to college. My daughter's 15 and we're already thinking about, does she want to go up north? Does she want to go to college when we move to Montana? Does she want to go to a college somewhere out there? There's fucking BYU. That BYU looks fucking sweet. That'd be so dope. Or she was even thinking about Humboldt. She loves it up there up north. I never thought about going to college. I was hell bent on being a musician. And it was very scary, but I was very fortunate and thankful to have kids young, because it put my mind straight, because I was ready to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I think with the help of good people at the time. Besides my brother, because he's always been there. My brother's been my biggest supporter, no matter what. I did a lot of great shit with a lot of good people backing me up at the time. I was able to go on tour. I was able to travel the United States playing music for a lot of people or no people. I was able to buy a home, 2 homes. I bought 2 homes in my life. Multiple cars. Like it means anything. But where I've come from being in the desert, I've jumped from desert and desert and desert, and I've always told my exes, even my daughter's mother, I told her, I remember she told me when I bought this house out here in the Central Coast, she's like, you know what, you always talked about how you wanted to move by the water, and you did it. And I don't want my daughter to think that, you know, you should just be able to do whatever you want. Like, you know, you have time to experiment and do, but I'm glad that she's starting to get things focused on something that she wants to be focused on for the rest of her life, because it's kind of crazy. I wish I would have practiced some culinary skills when I was younger, because I would be great right now. But that's what we learn. That's how we learn. Our ups and downs, we learn if we want to learn. So I'm very thankful for the friends I have in Palm Springs and the people and the friendships I made out there. And I will never, ever forget you. Never. And I hope we still socialize on social media. But do know that I know, and it's okay with me, that we've passed that friendship. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I will always remember the fun times I had with you, with Palm Springs. Palm Springs, I will come visit you in the wintertime when it's colder, and it's going to be sweet, and we will have a fucking blast. So you and I, we're still tight. But everybody else, we're good. And get off TikTok. No, I'm not going to end it so seriously. Okay, I will end it with this, though. Thank you so much for listening to this way long overdue podcast. And I didn't honestly think I was going to talk for this long, but it was good. It was really nice for me to take a break, because, to be quite honest with you, when Gibbs and I, when we stopped doing the Bearded Bros podcast, Tap Out Show, I kind of lost my way in direction on what I wanted to do with the show. And I've given myself these opportunities of like, well, I can do whatever. I mean, I can talk about whatever. It's not limited anymore. And now I'm at a point where it's like, what do I talk about? Gibbs and I, we had a process, and I'm thankful for that. Fuck is that? Huh. Sorry. Every time I see something popped up on my phone, baby girl. Oof. Every time I hear baby girl, that's what I used to call my XXXXXX. And that shit bothers the fuck out of me. So anyways, I get a little paranoid. But I don't know what I was getting at with that. I just really lost control. Anyways. Anybody, thank you so much for listening. I'm just going to end it with that. I had a process with Gibbs. We had everything all laid out. And now I feel like I'm kind of just winging it, and I don't want to. And I want to put more things in my life, like working out and eating better and watching and reading things that are going to intrigue my mind besides the entertainment factor. So I hope from here on out that you guys will get better quality podcasts from me, whether it's these long ass rants or I will have guests. Do note that the next main fight I will be watching is going to be the Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje fight of UFC. Yes, I will definitely try to have someone set up for that. It is going to be fucking epic. I cannot wait for it. So, thank you guys all so much for listening to the Conference Call podcast. It means the absolute world to me. If you can rate and review on all podcast platforms, I truly appreciate it. And as always, keep positive and stay classy. Peace.